All right, Brian. Well, I guess we've got to address the latest controversies concerning Hulk Hogan. He's he's still in the news and there's still stuff going on. Is this going to become I don't even know conspiracy theories or whatever. He's already being the victim of at least two different types of malpractices according to certain people because they said he was the victim of medical malpractice in one of his last surgeries that cut a nerve that could have contributed to his death. And then Brooke is out saying that the professionals that were responding to him have called or contacted her and say, oh, you ought to see the body cam footage of us going to get him, I guess, and taking him to the hospital. What the fuck is going on now?
Yeah, this has all been kind of crazy. You know, it just comes on the heels. I was reading an old interview with Ray Manzarek about Jim Morrison. He's like, one day he got a phone call from the manager. He's like, hey, by the way, Jim's dead. We had a funeral the other day. So what do you mean Jim's dead? What do you mean? Where are you guys? Who paid for this? Anything? And he kept saying, like, no one saw the body. All of a sudden, we all just heard he was dead. No one could explain what happened. I remember Morris Levy, the famous, infamous founder and owner of Roulette Records, a major player in music and publishing for a number of years.
A large figure in the book Hitmen.
That's right. His promotion guy, Herb Rosen, was someone who, when I first started in the music business, took me under his wing. And I just remember Herbie saying, and he was half joking, but he always talked about Australia, and no one saw the body. So it's like, you know, there's enough of a thing there. With Hogan, when it came out, we were told heart attack, which again, anything could prompt a heart attack, but we knew that it wasn't really a secret that he was definitely dealing with a lot of medical issues. So it made you question exactly what caused the heart attack. If he was going through treatments for other things and dealing with other ailments, where'd the heart attack come from? And you say Brooke Hogan's been talking about this. I have found it fascinating that she has been so out in the open about this. And it seems like the questions she's asking are the ones that, you know, the answers are starting to come in. I saw an interview with her on Bubba the Love Sponge. I ended up watching that. They hadn't spoken in 12 years, 13 years. And she doesn't just come out and say what it is, but she seems to think that the people around her dad made bad decisions. She was worried about him, maybe more than he was. She cared, and she was involved in all the medical stuff. So she's like the expert, more than anyone else, more than Hogan's wife of the last couple of years. She's the expert in the health of Hulk Hogan and his health history. And she's kind of been sounding the alarm that something was going on for a while, before she knew about the footage.
Well, and again, going back to the medical malpractice part, I guess they're saying that the operation severed, as I said, some kind of nerve. Apparently, it's connected to the diaphragm and controls breathing, is what the report said from an occupational therapist at Hulk's house when he stopped breathing. So there was some type of medical adjacent people on the scene when this happened. But then back to Brooke, she's saying that completely different thing, that people that were responding to this have called her like, oh, I don't want to be quoted, but boy, you ought to look at the body camera footage. And
how did they get to it? Like you would almost hope if there was something nefarious with a family member that you would get that call, but how do they find you?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, she's public people are sometimes often harder to get a hold of, but
if it was a call, yeah.
But, yeah, she needed to see the body camera footage and get a hold of the 911 tapes because they supposedly contain information that could potentially shed enough light to change the narrative everyone's been hearing. What the fuck is this? Is it all a conspiracy theory to keep everybody in the news and the estate will be worth $500 million? Or Is there a bunch of fucking chicanery going on around here?
Well, I guess the first thing is the estate, it sounds like, has a lawsuit against this doctor, whoever severed the nerve. How does that happen? You hate hearing about that.
Well, and also, apparently, Brooke at the time she made a statement, didn't know whether he'd been cremated or whether it was going to happen or what. Apparently, now the last thing that I saw was he's not been cremated. They are going to have an autopsy, but the wife won't tell the daughter anything, and there you go. Happy Hogan knows best. I mean, you don't want to laugh about people's, miserable family relations, but Jiminy Christ, this is just ridiculous. So what do you think, Brian?
Well, here's Brooke Hogan's statement. Here's all I know, so stop speculating, stop asking. I've also informed my brother of all of this information, who is boots on the ground with everything. Fact. I've 100% gotten legit calls from professionals, from police officers to nurses that were supposedly with my dad on the day of his death, telling me, and that's in caps, I need to see body cam footage and I need to get a hold of the 911 tapes because they supposedly contain information that could potentially shed enough light to change the narrative everyone's been hearing. Those same professionals felt so passionately about what they witnessed, they have continued to contact me and push me to find specific answers to this very day.
One would think they might call the police then if there was something that shady going on, but go ahead.
They are quite literally putting their careers at risk because they feel so compelled to do the right thing. So, I mean, again, if there was a nerve issue, because if they're saying that the nerve affects the diaphragm, affects breathing, and that all makes sense.
But that wouldn't have anything to you wouldn't see anything on the body cam.
Right,
yeah, exactly. Oh my God, I see it with my body cam. He's got a damaged fucking nerve. What? No, there's two different screwy things going on here. Is the first screwy thing the damaged nerve being floated as a cover story to cover up for the second screwy thing? Who knows? Because it's screwy.
Yeah, what's on that? What could be on that tape? I mean, who was with him? His wife?
An occupational therapist was
therapist, there. Yeah, the 911 respondents.
What occupation was he therapying?
That's not how it works.
I don't.
Make me a construction worker.
yeah, that's it. What? He could be a double knot spy. Get me a double knot spy therapist. Just wondered what occupation the man on his deathbed would be studying for, but
why was Vince driving so fast? What was Vince up to that day? If Vince McMahon had died that morning, and he could have in that car crash on the Merritt Parkway.
Yeah.
Imagine, you want to talk about conspiracies. If Vince McMahon was killed in a crazy accident, and that news broke, and then 2 hours later it broke that Hulk Hogan suddenly is dropped dead. That'd be like the biggest conspiracy theory in wrestling history.
That would, the matter-antimatter explosion would just blow up the internet. But again, if they do have an autopsy, and especially since his daughter is speaking so publicly at this point, one would think that the wife would want the daughter to know what actually happened, so she'd shut the fuck up, if nothing else, maybe.
Unless the wife
is
on that video acting like a nut.
Yeah.
Seriously.
They come in the room and the wife has the pillow over his face. Oh, hello, I didn't know you were here.
Well, we don't know. But the point is, there's a malpractice suit, it sounds like, from the estate against this doctor whose negligence may have led to the death of Hulk Hogan. But that wouldn't be crazy stuff that wouldn't be like, I'm putting my life at risk. Get the 911 tapes. Get the video. Get it all. Yeah. I gotta go. Like, that's where it's like, what could be on the video? Is it, I don't want to presume anything, but
This is one of the most anticipated videos that Hulk Hogan has been involved in quite some time.
man, if this video gets out there, he'll be the biggest star surveillance video ever. Like, no one will ever be able to surpass that.
And do you think it's going to be something so heinous that it will turn him completely babyface posthumously? Oh my God, I can't believe they did that to him. He's so, oh, I love him.
Who else was there? Was Jimmy Hart there?
Oh, come on now. Poo poo.
What if he got on his megaphone and started like, come on, Hulk, come on. Come on, Hulk,
Get out. No. Poo Poo doesn't have any knowledge of any nefarious dealings going on.
While we're talking about Hogan, let's get it all out here. Did you see that Missy Beefcake got ejected from the funeral for calling Linda Hogan the C word and Brian Blair had her thrown out?
What? No.
Yeah, for real. You didn't see this?
No.
Hold on. Let me pull up the story. Someone sent this to me, and I figured you would have seen it.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you're a viewer of Dark Side of the Ring, Missy Beefcake is apparently the wife/manager of Brutus Beefcake. And Missy is quite a piece of cake in her own right.
Well, Jim, I'm seeing stuff here. Apparently, Brian Blair has claimed that Missy was ejected from the service, like I said, calling Linda Hogan the C word. Missy Beefcake is denying that. She put out a statement saying, was not, that's in caps, thrown out. Linda attacked Brutus and put her hand in my face.
Wait, what?
She was yelling.
Are we talking a physical attack, or was she just coming up yelling?
We're talking the funeral. This is happening at the funeral.
Well,
this is her defense.
They're all insane. Yes, they're all insane. So I'm just...
Was not thrown out. Linda attacked Brutus and put her hand in my face. She was yelling for security. When security got to us, they said, take your seat. It's okay. We will handle Linda.
Like the security in the Tampa Bay cemetery business is on first name basis with Linda and how crazy she is.
Well, then this may explain her other side. And then Brutus had a panic attack, and we went outside to get air. He was unable to go back in. So they weren't ejected. It's just she was told, sit down, we'll take care of Linda, and then Brutus had a panic attack.
Good Lord.
What a zoo.
And again, a funeral. How do you get thrown out of a funeral?
I read something the other day, too, that Matt Riddle went to the funeral, and his hair is now, like, red. And the quote I read, it was from Matt Riddle. It was like, Shane McMahon walked up to him and sarcastically said, nice hair. And Matt Riddle was like, go fuck yourself. Like, what a funeral this must have been. I wish I was there. Everyone's feuding with everyone. It's like a weird wrestling soap opera. Ejections? Have you ever been to a funeral where someone was ejected? I haven't been to a ton of funerals, but I've never seen an ejection. Who does the
I believe we've talked about it before. I've been to like 6 funerals in my entire life. I've seen dejected, but not ejected. And I haven't seen a lot of people cussing each other at those particular functions, but maybe I just happen to drop in on the few where that doesn't happen.
And Brian Blair is the one who said that Missy Beefcake got ejected. Brian Blair was the one Brutus was partying with when the parasailing accident happened. It all ties together. It's crazy.
You'd think some of these people would have moved to a different state. They don't seem to mix well.
Well, we'll see what more. I'm fascinated to know what could be on these videos, because the malpractice thing is being thrown out there, but that can't be what is on the video. It can't be, oh my God, his nerve. That ain't it. There's something that Brooke Hogan's being led to believe is on that video.
One would think it would have to, somebody was there. There was some evidence of some mistreatment, or, something was amiss, and that you could see on camera, or that you could hear on the 911 tapes, or that you could piece together from both of same. And that still leaves a wide spot open for interpretation.
Well, we'll see what happens. Hulkamania lives forever. He's immortal, and we'll be talking about him, obviously, for a lot more segments in the future, because it keeps happening.
Well, wait till Abraham Zapruder brings the film in, and then we'll go over that.